Hi, I'm Nino Gonzalez, and welcome to another episode of Making Sense. Well, I have the pleasure of having next to me Andrea Porras Portillo, who just recently found out she was the Jack Kent Cooke Scholarship Foundation winner. And Andrea, congratulations, and thank you for taking a little bit of your time. I know you have a busy schedule, but for taking a little bit of your time to talking to us. But let me tell you a little bit about this scholarship. It's a very competitive scholarship. They open it up nationwide to students of two-year colleges who want to transfer to a four-year university. This year we received 2,500 applications, and out of those 2,500 applications, only 47 were selected, and one of them was from our college. And I've been the faculty representative for the college for the past 12 years, and in those years we've had 3 winners. And so what a great honor for you, what a great honor for the college. But tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're involved in so many things here at the college. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, first and foremost, I am student government president here at EPCC, and I have been for about a year now. My tenure will be coming to an end this June, July-ish.
Okay.
Depends on Ms. Jones. But it's been really one of the most amazing experiences, and indirectly it kind of led me into this scholarship. I was campaigning for student government last year as I was running for president, and I just happened to bump into Bryan. He was sitting there with a few other students.
And who is Bryan? Can you please explain to us?
Bryan Kirby, he's an English instructor at Rio Grande, and he is the one he used to be over Phi Theta Kappa here at the college. And he told me about the scholarship, and yeah, I had a student that got it not too long ago. I think you'd be a perfect candidate. You should definitely do it. And at the time I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, okay, I'll do it. Because I didn't really know what it was all about. And so he reached out to me about a few months later, and he was like, hey, Andrea, have you looked into the Jack Kent Cooke Scholarship? And I was like, you know what, I have not. And he's like, you should. They're opening up the application process soon. And from then on, I just started working on it, and I didn't really know what to expect. And it was a lot of work.
The first student that we had, I helped her some with the application, and that's when we used to do it on paper. And basically it was Word documents, and they had to be attached through emails or faxed in, and you have to submit a lot of financial information, and we would fax that in and everything. And we would have several students start, but they would quit. And the reason is because it's a very lengthy process. You have to get recommendations, you have to do essays, and a lot of students say they give up.
Yeah, I was actually going to be one of those students just because the process is so long and it seems so dreadful. Like you type in a question, they ask you what school you want to go to, and then you say, I don't know, UTEP, and it says, why do you want to go to that school? And then you have to write it in like a 500-word essay.
Right.
I'm just being exaggerating, but it really was that it was really long and a lot of questions, and you're trying to make yourself sound really smart in every single answer, and then they ask financial information for your parents and for yourself, and then they ask for two advice or teacher recommendations, and you're kind of having to stay on top of them as well, like, have you finished? Yeah, and my dad lives in Juarez, so it was often a challenge, like, have you done it? Have you finished? What do you mean? Like, and I don't know, I mean, they were extremely supportive.
And just to mention about this scholarship, you're receiving a $40,000 a year scholarship for up to 3 years to attend a 4-year university. And in the past, we've had students who've selected a university, and then once they find out that they received the scholarship, they aim higher. At the universities that they want to go. What are some of the universities that you have applied to that hopefully you will get accepted to?
Well, I've applied to 4 schools as of right now. I applied to Stanford University, New York University, Baylor University and the University of Texas at San Antonio.
Okay. And what do you want to study and why?
I want to study I'm studying currently speech communication and psychology. For my bachelor's degree, I would want to study communication with a focus on public relations, and maybe getting a minor in social psychology, just because I feel like for my ultimate goal, they really strengthen what I want to do. And my ultimate goal is to be a lawyer, or perhaps run for Congress.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
you've got political aspirations within you. Being the president of student government. But what I overheard from some conversations is that you've also been involved with some politicians within the state and within the county and city of El Paso. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I was a summer intern for the office for Senator Jose Rodriguez. He's a Texas state senator.
Right.
I did a summer internship for him. I volunteered in a citizenship workshop with Representative Blanco. He's also a state representative. I have the pleasure of meeting the Commissioner of Texas. Yesterday, actually, we got to talk about what our students need and how Texas and how he can advocate for students.
And that's the Education Commissioner, correct?
Yes, that's the Educationer, the Commissioner of Higher Education.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Those are just some. I've had the pleasure of talking to Ted Cruz. Well, I've had to talk to Ted Cruz.
Okay.
I've had the pleasure of talking to Beto O'Rourke. We met with all of our state representatives,
Right.
Mary Gonzalez, Moody, and all because of student government.
So you are interested in the political arena?
Yes, definitely.
And if you were to be a lawyer, what type of lawyer would you want to, or law would you want to focus on?
I'm still kind of looking into that just because there's so much out there. I feel like my heart says immigration.
Okay.
Just because my family and so many of my friends have been affected by the system of immigration and have been impacted greatly and positively by immigration lawyers. But I really don't know. My uncle does corporate. It seems like a lot of fun.
Okay.
I would probably want to do something like that. And and talking to my mom and my uncle a little bit, there's a lot of money in corporate law. So my ambitious goal is to go into corporate law and make a lot of money, and then being able to provide immigration services to families pro bono.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I don't feel like anyone should pay for that help.
And tell me a little bit about your background and how you came to be a student here at El Paso Community College.
So I was born in Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, and I lived there until I was 13 years old.
Okay.
I was privileged enough to be able to attend a private institution in Juarez where I learned English and French as well.
Oh, wow.
The French didn't stick, but
Okay.
the English certainly did. And then I came here to the United States when I was about 13. My first high school was Austin High School, and then I moved to Chapin High School. And my family they don't have a lot of resources financially. We get along just fine, but so going to college for me, it was never an option. It was something that I had to do.
Right.
It wasn't something like, oh, you can go to college. It was something that for me I had to do. My parents went to college. My mom was a teacher for the longest time, so I had a college going culture in my family, and it never seemed like optional. It was like I
Something
have to
you
go.
had to do.
But I felt like I couldn't afford it, and I didn't want to throw my family into debt or anything of that sort, just because I wanted to be ambitious. So it kind of broke my heart, but I was like, okay, I'll have to go to EPCC. It's the best place to start. And I started off there. I started off here. And at first I was kind of one of those students that was kind of like, I don't really want to be here. I don't really like it here. But I was also part of the speech and debate team here, and they kind of got me involved in everything that I am and that I do now. And then I got involved with student government, and from there, the floodgates just
open, right?
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
and it's that's one of the things with especially students here at El Paso Community College or even UTEP, is that they don't get the full college experience because they just come to school, go home, or go to work. But one of the ways to do that is to get involved like you did. And there's so many opportunities out there and so many doors that will be available to you if you do get involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I've always been really involved. I'm kind of an overachiever, and I'm very social, and I like people. That's why I'm studying communications, you know. So it's, for me, it was something like it's just something that I do. And now that I'm student government president, it's so frustrating to me to try to get people to understand how much being involved can do for you, and getting so much apathy out of them. I'm just like, you don't understand.
We just had a celebration for you, and the college recognized you as a scholarship recipient. You know, you've got a piece of cake here. But we were trying to keep all of this a secret, you know, being the faculty representative for the foundation. You know, your student government advisor, Ms. Jones, she wanted me to tell you because you were going through some hard times. I think it was a student government competition, correct?
A convention.
A convention. And so I reached out to you a few days before we had the official announcement here at the college. How did you feel when you heard that I told you you were the Jack Kent Cooke Scholarship Foundation winner?
Well, shocked. I was very shocked, just because they take so long to get back to you. At one point I was like, yeah, I don't think I got it. Like, this is taking forever. So I texted Bryan, and I was like, when am I gonna find out if I got it or not? He told me, oh, well, my last student didn't find out until May. So I was still hopeful, but like you said, it was an incredibly stressful day for me. Not only am I president here at the local chapter for student government, I'm also regional president.
Wow.
So I'm over 10 different schools within Texas. And then I was appointed as executive host for the Texas Junior College Student Government Association State Board. So I was president here, president of region, and host I had to put together the convention, basically. So that day, it seemed like everything was going wrong. Like, the internet wasn't working, people's stuff was getting lost, and it kind of all came down on me. And then I received a call from the college, and I was just incredibly frustrated. Like, why are they calling me? And it was just like, don't answer, don't worry about it. Like, you focus on yourself and calm down and stay here until you get better. And then she calls me into a different room, and it's just her and I, and she hands me the phone. And then I'm just kind of like, what? And you're like, hi, I'm Nino, and I'm over the Jack Kent Cooke Scholarship. And even when you said that, like, I still didn't know where you were going to.
We need more documents.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what?
We need another essay.
No. And so when you told me you're this year's scholarship recipient, I just started crying and crying and crying. Ms. Jones got a video, and I was just, it's unbelievable. I struggle a little bit with confidence and self-esteem, and Ms. Jones is always like, why? Like, you're great and wonderful. She's always like, you're great and wonderful. And I was just like, there was so much self-doubt, and I really didn't think that I would get it. For me, it was like, I'd rather say I did it and not have that regret in the back of my mind than to not do it at all.
And I hear you submitted the application like the day it was due, or one day before?
The day before.
The day before.
So I really was going to quit. I couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
There was so much going on in my life at the same time, and I just didn't want to. And I called Ms. Jones, and Ms. Jones was like, stop crying. She's super dry sometimes. I'm like, Ms. Jones, I'm crying. I can't.
And who you're talking about is Arvis Jones, who has been over student leadership and student government for so many years, and I've had the pleasure of working with her when I was a student advisor for one of the student clubs here at the college. So, but she's great, and you've had some terrific mentors and people who've told you not to quit, and now the doors are wide open for you, and I can just see endless possibilities with you and with regards to your career and your education, and I think you'll do great in any institution is going to be honored to have you as a student there. And thank you for finishing the application and not giving up. And thank you for bringing this prestige and honor to the college. And, for us having 3 winners, since 2011, that speaks to the quality of the student and the education here at El Paso Community College and the faculty and the administration. And there were only 6 in Texas, and we have one of them, and we're so proud of that. And thank you very much, Andrea. I wish you the best. I know you will be a shooting star, and it'll be endless. So
thank you.
And I just can't wait to hear about your future. Please keep me in touch.
Yes,
All right.
of course.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're very honored. It's a very prestigious scholarship. It is up to $40,000 a year, and you are receiving the $40,000 a year scholarship for up to 3 years to continue at a 4-year university. And of course, this gives the opportunity for the student to expand the horizons and looking at higher universities such as you were mentioning, Standard, Cornell, MIT, and other higher learning institutions of great prestige. This is the undergraduate transfer program, and so it's open to those students that are in 2-year colleges and intend on going on to a 4-year institution. The requirements are very stringent, and let me just give you some stats here. We received 2,500 applications. And out of those 2,500 applications, only 47 were selected. And this is one of the 47. And in Texas, there were six winners in Texas. And the average GPA of all the winners is a 3.92. And most of the majors are in biological sciences, engineering, computer information systems. And I'm thinking that hearing from the interviews that you want to choose law as your field of study. But a very prestigious honor for our institution, showing the quality of our students, the quality of our faculty, the quality of our administration. I'm here with Bryan Kirby, and Bryan, I'd like to, first of all, introduce yourself to the public and what is it that you do here at the college?
Sure. My name is Bryan Kirby. I'm an English professor at the Rio Grande campus. I'm also the district-wide coordinator for the English discipline that I work with all instructors around the discipline and sort of serve as liaison between higher administration and English faculty. And I'm the former advisor for our Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. And took a step away from that, but always sort of had one foot in that world of honor society.
Yeah, and the reason I'm interviewing you is because the last 2 winners have come through you, mm-hmm. and you've sort of fed them into the pipeline, mm-hmm. and I want to thank you for that. And I think you have a knack for looking at talent, mm-hmm. and a student that has potential and will do well in the competition for
mm-hmm.
for this scholarship.
Yeah, I one of the things that's hardest for me to hear is when an instructor derides or complains about her or his students. I have no problem walking up to students and engaging them in conversations and asking them about goals and achievements and where they hope life takes them. And with the Itzel Tejer, the 2016 recipient of the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation Transfer Scholarship, we just got to talking after one of my classes, and we got to discussing the future, what she wants to do, and I said, this is all possible, and it can all be paid for. Right. You don't have to go into student loan debt. There are scholarships. And so she approached me a few weeks later with this long, arduous, laborious drag of a scholarship called the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation Transfer.
Oh, so you didn't know about it.
Yeah.
She's the one who introduced you to
it.
Oh, wow.
And so I looked at the amount of work involved, and I made an agreement with her. I said, I'll match your work, the level of work that you put in, I'll match it. Whether it's writing letters, helping you, edit your materials, whatever it takes, I'll match your level of intensity. And she operates at a level of intensity that's 99.9.
Right.
And she wound up winning it, and she jumped through those hoops, and she filed all that paperwork, and together, you know, I'm really proud to have learned later that there are offices on other college campuses that, you know, that have numbers of people who help their students with this process.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, your office, Itzel, myself, you know, we just did it on our own.
Right. And now you found the most current winner, and how did that come across?
I saw Andrea Porras Portillo. She was campaigning for her student government presidency, and I knew she was personable, and I sat down with her at the Rio Grande cafeteria, and I was like, look, tell me about yourself. You know, what do you want to do? What's your background? And, you know, she reminded me so much of Itzel. Crosses the border daily, wakes up at 4 a.m., second language speaker, excels. And I told her, Andrea, I think you're a shoo-in for this scholarship. And then I felt really badly afterwards because I realized just how incredibly competitive it is.
Right.
You know, 15,000 people start that scholarship, but 2,500 finish it.
Right.
And of those 2,500, there's maybe, you know, rounding up 50 who get awarded.
No, it was 47 exactly to be this year.
Yeah. And to go through that process it's a drag, it's a grind.
Right.
And but I knew that I saw in Andrea, just like I saw in Itzel, that if they put in the effort, they'll get it. And I invite my colleagues, you know, talk to your students, get to know them as people, not as a student identification number, not as just something to endure this semester, but, you know, something that you can keep in touch with forever, and mentor them, you know, and whatever they come to seek out from you, you know, it's kind of our jobs to put forth our best effort, or to at least match their efforts. Yeah, and so that's what happened with Andrea. Is she, like you said, she said, I'll put in the effort, and I told her I'll do my best to make sure you submit the best possible materials, and she put in a lot of work, very last minute, but so what?
Right.
You know, they set the deadlines, she met them, and her work was above and beyond, and now she gets to choose where she's going to finish up her 4-year degree. And now I understand they offer $75,000 a year
for a graduate.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so that's a huge amount of money. And you know, for somebody who's barely crawling out from student loan debt, you know, I know how important it is to get these scholarships. And so if anybody demoans or demeans scholarships and the work that's involved,
It's worth it.
just ask yourself, you know, if you have $75, $100 bills in your pocket, then blow off the scholarship.
Or, you know, even a $2,000 scholarship
Yeah.
or $1,500 scholarship,
Yeah.
it all helps. But
Yeah.
I want to thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing those students to the foundation and through the application process.
Absolutely.
And I hope to work
Yeah.
many more years with you.
Let's do it again.
And we already had a winner, you know, just 2 years ago, and now another one.
Sure.
Let's have it every year.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.